Our teas, we gotta put. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy Friday tea time. Happy Venus Friday. So we haven't poured our teas yet. Michael, drink your tea, sweetheart. Making sure I don't pour it on me for you. So happy Friday, everyone. We are drinking mangosteen peel with goji berries to boost our energy, boost our systems. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please introduce yourself. Let us know who is here, who is joining us. We're so excited to have you. We are so excited to have you be with us on this wonderful Venus Friday.
As you could tell, our eyes are barely open. My eye may be half wide, half red, half white, because we had a very extraordinary sequence of events these past 24 hours, let alone the preparation for the fall equinox, with so much to prepare and just to witness. So I feel today is probably one of our days of, as I look at myself in camera, off, completely off. Gosh, my eyes are barely open. The sags are really talking to me right
We
now.
barely slept last night.
First night of my return.
So usually when I don't sleep, there's two sides. I'm either delirious, like now, or I'm pure non-functioning. Fortunately, I'm on the delirious part where I laugh a lot because things are all over. So let us just my son spent the night last night. Yesterday was just all over the place, picking up my other son. He got his driver's permit. So Michael picked him up. He drove with Michael first. Then he wanted to drive with me. Came, we made dinner. We hung up, just catch up, everything. And my other son wasn't feeling so good. So Michael had to boost his energy field. And Michael this week, because he's been so tired, he slept in the guest room. So last night,
I'm not tired.
He's been rebalancing after New York. So after 9/9. So last night we were in our bed together. Of course, I was all excited,
A little preempt. I haven't slept with her the past week because of the fact
he
that
needed
we have
to
a
get
guest
his
room.
sleep.
And honey, in her, you can see the excitement in her ability to see her when she is in her awake mode. Well, it's double that when she's in her sleep mode, because she tends to turn and she kicks and she scratches at me. That's why I have a red eye today, because I have no clue what's happened this morning.
I move a lot at night. I don't know what happens.
A lot is an understatement.
So a lot of times I wake up, I've hurt myself, and last night apparently
she need me in the freaking tush.
I don't remember, but then there's all kinds of activities. So it just all kinds of things, and we both had really awful dreams last time. Mine was like nuclear war bombs. Mine was not going to talk about what he dreamt. So then I had to go rush, drop my other son off school, come back, get my other son, take him to Metro, come back, get ready for this. And it's so amazing because of all the times I have the most amount of messages. Hey, honey, can you talk? Where are you? I need to talk to you. So many of my dear friends in the week that we just don't even have, because we leave next week, a week from this Friday.
A week from today.
A week from today. And we also have so much preparation for this amazing equinox, the fall equinox, autumn equinox, this Sunday, which the window of it opened at 72 hours before open today. So there's this frequency of the autumn equinox, which you should talk about for just a moment. So we have the 72 hours before. I talked about this on Todd's show last night, and 72 hours after the equinox. So we're in between 144-hour window period, which is this. There's this incredible in this particular month of September, which is this completion energy, as so many cycles within cycles are completing, which I get very excited and giddy around September, this energy particularly, because it allows us to wrap up and then go directly within. And the autumn equinox, it's so much about the balance and that centered part of ourselves, like not being in our sacred divine feminine all the way, not being in our sacred divine masculine all the way, being right in the middle of both of it, right in the center. So everything that we've prepared for our autumn equinox event this Sunday is around this. So of course ourselves, we have to bring, we're a little bit imbalanced in terms of sleep, so we need to rest today to bring that into balance.
It's powerful because the equinox matches the day where there is, half light and half dark. It's an equality of both. So one of the major areas we have to honor is to equally honor and love and respect the light, to equally honor and respect the dark. And even as we move through our days where sometimes we just feel like a little exhausted, a little tired, to equally respect all those energies that are moving through, because we've seen not only in this week, but since 9/9 of all these energies that have been coming, especially the last 9 days in the palindrome of the only one in this century, and then to have the equinox this weekend and really move what I find is one of my favorite times of the year. And obviously it's in this hemisphere. For those that are watching the other hemisphere, you're moving from spring to summer, blessings.
Yeah.
But in our fall, it's such a great time because there is this harvest feeling. There is this energy where we're harvesting all of the energies that we've built up through the summer. And this summer was a blasting, fiery, rip-roaring, lion kick ass, where many of us really, were hit in the highest levels of our ascension. So now to move into this phase of autumn, and where the days do get cooler, they do get shorter, and that's that time where we mark to go inward, deeper and deeper. And I find it's such a special time because we have so much energy outwardly. There's so much stimulation, and to really grasp the time to go inward and to really feel the presence of what's around us, because Honey and I, we realize what's moving before us and what's happening in 2020 is these energies in these days, and what's moving through us is extremely phenomenal.
Yeah,
and sometimes we can't put words toward it because there's so much action. So to find that stillness and find that space within, really to center within what's moving around.
But let me ask you a question, Michael. So of course we're getting ready to go for 4 weeks on travel. Mm-hmm. So we have so much organization. But do you also not feel this in that which we're speaking of? We're also part of that experience where all of these things like around us is happening, right? And we're part of this experience of everything around us, because everything is actually falling into that place for the autumn equinox. Yeah. Like I can feel next week is going to be a different energy than this week, because it's been building to this moment. Mm-hmm. And I feel the group energy. I can feel it like right after Sunday. It's going to be this much more of this breath space before we leave. I can feel it. We have a lighter schedule.
I'm so happy that you feel that. If I could take this moment and pause it and just record it and have that to play after Sunday, so that peace, that ease, that grace. But yes, I do feel that.
I feel it because we're part of the Ascension, Planetary Ascension. And I feel it's not just us, we're part of so many other, it's like everything else is falling into
the multidimensional realities around us and through us. And what's beautiful is to recognize, these are 4 major crossings throughout the year. When we look at the equinox, the summer solstice, these are really huge moments to really embrace. Yes. And I feel like when we can embrace that, then we can honor ourselves and everything that we're going through. And equally, to know that those that are going through pain, those that are going through suffering, those that are, there's a lot out there right now where people are getting hit hard, to embrace that as well. Yes. And we always speak about, the beautiful and the ascension and that growth. But we also know that this is also a moment where if we haven't recognized or given attention to the dark, or we haven't given ourselves so much appreciation for the light, it's going to show up in our daily lives right now. So we want to provide that compassion for all those that are moving through that, and just give our deepest blessing, because we're all in it together. Hello,
Nancy.
Hello, Nancy.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Nancy.
Those of you that are watching, also please introduce yourself. Where are you joining from? And what tea are you drinking? So today was a mixture of goji berry and the mangosteen peel, just to boost our immune system. We felt like we needed a little bit of that boost system.
Look at our faces right now.
It's so funny because, we get like a little bit more puffy. It is all part of it. And it's perfect because we're all in it together. So, like there's no difference. We're all moving through it, and it is what it is. So interesting enough, I don't know if any of you are organizing a fall equinox or autumn equinox, any kind of ritual, any kind of practice, anything that you can really take part in this celebration of this energy. What's very important is to recognize there is this gateway in this autumn equinox. And in this gateway, if you're on this side of it, we're missing what's on this side. If you're on this side of it, we're missing what's on this side. We really have to be in the center of it. And it is that invitation to stay in the center. And this one particularly is the last fall equinox of the entire decade. We will of the entire 10 years, 20 years, because once we move into this 2020, the 2020, even the much love. Thank you. Ooh, Shaga. We love Shagati. And you're able to anchor in these pillars, these 4 pillars into the earth through your own grounding. And that really represents your beautiful earth energy, your water energy, your not energy, the element, your earth element, your water element, your fire element, your air element. You finally anchored it in all these areas, and boom, you start 2020. For us, this fall equinox, the ceremony we have is everything about the release of what has been within 2019. So we prepare ourselves, and then we welcome the seeding of the seeds for 2020. So wherever you are, whatever you do, would be really wonderful for you to do some kind of celebration so that you can invite that, because as we then go in, we have this 3 months to the winter equinox. Then we have another 3 months into the spring equinox, because then it's the energy that it goes inward, as we know, and the energy that goes outward. And we have to go in this one, but this particular one is very special. And especially because we're moving completely into this, the anchoring of the golden age. So wherever in our lives that we haven't brought this golden frequency, that illumination light, that crystal light within us, it's the universe is providing us that opportunity to expand it and to love it and to bring the awareness into it. And like when I was on Todd's show yesterday, for those of you that didn't catch it, you can watch it on our fan page, or my page, Michael's page, or Todd's page. I had the 1-hour interview with Todd. I really talked about this because it is this part where we're being given the opportunity to embrace the divine aspect, the divine nature, divine truth that we are into our human experience, but really not in the etherics anymore, to really bring it into the human template. And that's where those 4 pillars of 2020 represent. 2 plus 2 is 4. It really represents, we went through the joy, this 3 energy, the innocence coming back up, and then in 2019, and then anchoring it. So which is a really important part.
And we find that it's wherever you are, one of the best things that you can do is really to go into nature. It's such an importance to connect to Mother Earth, especially during fall time. I find that, it's not winter yet, or if it's springtime in other hemispheres, to really anchor in. As you know, all wisdom can be found in nature. So a lot may be searching or seeking, what can I do during this equinox? And really, if just taking that time to be silent within yourself, to go outside and really connect to the surroundings and just feel what is moving through, because it's so powerful what happens when you give yourself the opportunity to take a beautiful walk in the forest, or to go out into the sun and just feel Mother Earth around you. See the symbols, the birds, the wind, and just notice what's happening, because before you recognize, there's going to be magic. There's going to be things that are going to be moving around to show you that you're in sync with what's going on, because as Mother Earth is a live organism that's holding us, our energies are directly communicating with her everywhere and every time we are connecting with her. And so I find sometimes we can get so busy in our mind, in our organization, our responsibilities, but to really take that time frame and to really allow yourself in that present moments to integrate yourself with the love of Mother Earth and to love of what's coming forward, because to me that is one of our biggest opportunities, to be present of what's coming forward.
And I feel the solar sun, grandfather sun, is important. I don't know if you saw me like, oh, tear up this morning when I was sitting in front of the sun. It was so cool this morning here in Washington, D.C., like really that cold, crisp air, like 49 degrees. And as the sun came, as I was praying, and the minute I said, good morning, grandfather sun, central sun, galactic sun, and the source of sun, I just started tearing and tearing, because you can really feel the plasma rays. The plasma blast is very important part of what we're anchoring into Gaia, and it's really into the heart of Gaia. Michael and I are more focused on the crystalline diamond golden rose center of Gaia, because she's already moved from the earth energy of the past, of the consciousness that was tied into the matrix and all that programming, conditioning, and what have you, into her fifth dimensional consciousness, which her name is Gaia. And she has the other names, Sophia's garden, or Tierra, So all of the, these are the higher conscious names represent this golden frequency in her grids that is part of the crystal slide. The crystal slide is what's illuminating through these plasma rays that is updating our DNA, our consciousness, our presence to be anchored into the golden age. So that's why, like, when you allow yourself to bathe in the sun energy, and this is what's interesting, since like the early 1970s, there was this movement by the cable to start using the pharmaceutical, to start using the medical community, particularly dermatology, to start blasting us, particularly in the US, Western world, of this sunscreen protection, and not go in the sun. This fear program started really being put in there so that we don't go in the sun. And so many of us got pulled into that because of fear of the skin cancer and what have you. And what actually happened was more skin cancer was developed because of these poisons in these sunscreens being placed on our bodies, creating a reaction inside our bodies that when it interacted with the sun, it created cancer. So that was part of them, like, trying to prove something. But what happened was that was a huge agenda movement by the dark forces in collaboration, because the pharma is behind it, so that we do not connect to the solar energy that was connected to the galactic sun, to the central sun, to the sun of all illumination. This is very important, because that's also the wave when there's newer waves of the crystal beings, the rainbow beings, the diamond beings have come in. So they've had to, be embraced by their number food is sun.
And our being of a light body that feeds our soul. It's amazing when we
the cow body needs the sun.
When we sit in the sun, obviously from the Western perspective, it's a great source of vitamin D. But being a light body, for us, when we sit into the sun, we feel the nourishment, we feel the nutrition, we feel the embodiment that the sun and the light is empowering ourselves. So as much as we can get. And obviously respecting the high points of the day, because there's certain points you want to just protect your skin, but to really embrace that energy. And we notice that when we're under the sun, it's this rejuvenation, it's this revitalization of like, wow, we really feel empowered and really lifted by the sun, because that's we are light beings.
So what was it in 2018 when we had the dedication of channeling with the masters? It was in one of the, I remember in one of the events. One of them, where were we? In Tulum, right? the Council of Light came through me and spoke, and
it's when we were
was it that
outside of
one?
the sand, remember?
Yeah, and so it spoke about the why we're. I don't remember the. But I remember the imagery.
It spoke about why, as light beings, and we just feel that we know that the sun, provides growth for our planet, for every organism. And why is it that when individuals are in sun, what does it do to them? And it was kind of interesting, the Council of Light, because they were.
I don't remember exactly.
They were very sarcastic, but they were like saying, "Well, why do you feel that you want to sit in sunlight? What is it that the light does to you?" And it was this poetic way of simplicity, of sharing that light is our life, and that light.
And there was something about joy too, wasn't there?
Yeah, well, the light brings the joy. The joy increases the vibration. And when we increase that vibration within ourselves, then we're elevating to our highest being. So, as simple as being in the sun, it has so many benefits. Times a day. I mean, honey and I, we melt when we see the sunrise or we see the sunset. It's actually it's kind of funny, or a little, I don't want to say ridiculous, but we get to this, we're like, oh my gosh, look at the sunrise.
Did you see the sun?
And look at the light just coming up. It's like this power of energy, because we recognize that there's something very special when the sun rises first thing in the morning, and you notice all of the birds and the animals and the energy and the frequencies just as powerful when it sets. And when we're by frequencies or bodies of water, we're just in this awe, almost watching this painting melt before us as we take in, because it is such a transition of when the day begins and the day ends, and to be a part of that, it activates who we are and what we are. So it's great.
We really feel like, I've shared that with you. I really feel I'm a sun. I say it, and in my prayers I said I am a sun. I am a golden sun. And I actually keep chanting that, because I sometimes when I close my eyes, I see all these suns in me that are just glowing, and I melt, and you see me, I get all high, I'm high as a kite when I'm seeing this golden sun ray inside of me.
And it's fascinating as we approach an equinox, as these light rays are coming in, and as we're transitioning into darker times, is really to honor all aspects of that. And I feel like in our Western world, sometimes we just focus on the light, but to take all of it in, because all of it is here for our health and well-being, to really expand to our highest level.
And I feel for that what's important about that is, again, as we go, the sun is always there. It's not going anywhere. And this space it gives us to expand even further, because there's that journey, that inward, because the inward wants to bring more of the deliciousness forward. And that's what's so beautiful, because it allows it to really be grounded. And so it's going to be amazing and wonderful. So let's also see how you all doing.
How are you doing,
How are you? How are you, Nancy? And whoever else is on, if you can just say where you're viewing from and what tea are you drinking. It would be great to hear from you. And
if you have any questions, if there's any things that are moving through, there is.
I'm going to use the restroom.
There's always during these times a lot of things being moved through. So in our own curiosity, in our own experiences, it's very important to honor with awe and the gratitude that we're receiving. Even if it's challenging, even if it's a conflict, somewhere it's teaching us to expand and to be more compassionate to ourselves, to be more loving to ourselves, to be more forgiving, and really to ultimately surrender what's happening, because a lot of these tests, these challenges, and these movements from one season to the other is really allowing to see how are you going to react to them. And not only how are you going to react, how are you going to shine your light so that you can feel the ability to go from that. And so, hi there, Natalia from Manassas. So great to see you, hear from you, Jasmine Green Tea. So we want to know what's happening. How are you doing, Natalia? Since I last saw you Saturday after the Archangel Michael healing, we're checking in and just seeing what is moving through your worlds. Because as we share our experiences, we also offer this beautiful opportunity just to share what's moving through, because we are connected as all, as in one. So to really reflect what's moving through is an honor that we are so grateful to be.
Yeah, and thank you, Michael. And wanted to also share with you, just first, for I want to just shift this for just a moment. Because we leave next week, Michael and I are playing catch up with the amount of emails regarding the last minute private sessions and also all the details for Sunday for those who are participating in our ceremony. Some have asked whether it can be video filmed and made available later. I don't know if we can. Probably not, because we're going to be out in nature, and to set all of that up, I just don't think we'll be able to do this one. So but we'll see. If we can, we'll do it. The other part of it is when we're away, this trip particularly for us is dedicated. There are two parts of it. One is celebrating me and Michael's our celebration in our hand that we talked about. That's a short version of it. The other part of it is exclusively planetary healing grid work assignment, and particularly there's certain days. 1010 is a major one, 1019 is a major one, and 1019, I want to discuss this real quick. There's a post on our fan page that we have posted, is the global network of grid work of the goddess energy, the sacred divine feminine energy. All over, there's circles all over that you can take part, register your name. We have taken part last year here in Washington, D.C., on the Washington Monument ground to anchor the frequency when we came back from our trip last year. And here we're taking part again, but that particular day will be in Greece at a particular location to anchor the crystalline diamond codes of light with this Magdalene frequency, and then working with of course, the dragons. So we welcome you to create your circle wherever you are. Take part in this global grid work. I put the link here on that. The other part is when we're away, sometimes the internet is a little bit difficult, so we'll do the best to communicate. We'll probably do a Friday tea time from where we're away. We'll do the best to twice to do that, because it will be very exciting for us to share. It all depends whether between internet access and also flights. So please be patient with us, but we are excited to share what we want to share. Third part is some of the individuals who have reached out asking for the when the light language class that I've been guided to start, most likely would be either December or January. We're in the middle of finalizing our December travel. So as soon as I know that in the next couple of days, we'll announce that. So I just want to put that in, and thank you so much for your patience. And again, thank you for all the personal messages. When can we talk to you? Like, it's just, please be patient with us because it's so overwhelming, has been. And on a daily message, I think you've been getting it too. On a daily message, I get something between 50 plus messenger messages a day. And I'm just frankly about 3 to 4 to 5 days behind responding, because it's just, we don't have assistance. We don't have any of that. We're of service. We're just doing the best that we can between.
We carry you in our hearts, and in your spirit is with us.
Thank you for your patience. That's the whole point. Thank you for being patient, for hearting us as we do what we need to do.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Nancy. And thank you, Natalia. Wonderful. So let's go over this. This is the first trip, Michael, you and I are going, that we are not facilitating private healing session for anyone.
Right.
We don't have a group event. We're dedicated just to the grid line on Earth. This Christos Unity Christ consciousness.
I'm so excited. I can't wait, because I feel there's so much magic, and I feel those that understand what it's like to travel and not have so much on your plate, so that we can actually feel the guidance of what's moving through, and allow ourselves this rest and this ability just to anchor in the light at a frequency that it doesn't pull on our field so much, because in previous years we've just done so much in Europe, and it's kind of funny when people, I have to laugh at it now, because when I look at it people see it, it's a lot to take in within a short amount of days and a short amount of weeks of where we're going. And I find that with all of us, it's always about this fine-tuning balance, how we can
for those that don't know, so every September, Michael and I are about 5 weeks of our Europe tour. So we have communities, different parts, and that especially Spain, London, and south of France, and it's between planetary work as well as the communities teaching, having event, private sessions. So it is such a crazy jam-packed schedule, and many different countries, flying into, flying out, do this, do that, and plus visiting my brother in Germany. So it's just, there's so much, and we're still visiting my brother, but this one is different. We're not in service to anybody else other than Gaia this time, and that's what I'm looking for. But part of it is the responsibility is great, because there's one particular one on 1010. It's been 4 years that I had to, before I met Michael, 1010, I was positioned in a specific place with the Golden Council of Twin Arcturian for this planetary ascension assignment for the activating the land, and last minute it changed. I had to come to the US and be at the Four Corners instead, and I didn't quite understand why. What was the Magdalene codes of light? Why was it shifted from there to there? And so anyway, then I had to get back, but we couldn't quite get there until now. So it's like 3 years, I guess it'll be 3 years later, finally Michael and I can be together. And it's very beautiful because both of our energies have had to get really harmonized. And I feel like when we went through the 8-8 Stargate, everything had to get so harmonized. So when we go on this trip, we're able to be really synchronized deeply with each other. So that in which we are bringing is coming through us to be anchored. Part of the planetary ascension is not going to throw us around. Other things are not going to throw us around. And it's just much more gentler on our system. And we purposely organized it in a much more gentler way, not to overwhelm ourselves.
Exactly.
Because that self-love, being so kind and gracious to self, has really become priority.
What I'm so excited is just to be with you, honey, in these sacred areas, and just to feel
so excited.
and to feel the magic of, as many of you know, from Canada to America, there's so many beautiful spots to feel the energy and the resonance. And what I love is, like, we can plan the little things, but we can also be open to the magic that the universe provides. And so that when we go there, without having so much on our plate, and then just feeling the call, because, you know, there's so much mythology and just energy on the Greek islands, and to feel that presence around the water, and to feel the energies that we're bringing in, and to feel the strength of our divine union, and just to anchor that light in our meditation.
And I feel this, that I really feel, for me, this is that Atlantis energy that we're bringing back to balance from that part of the, you know, that part of our incarnation where after the fall of Atlantis, where we went, and there's that incredible part of the theosophy, the philosophy, the all of that we were also part of, being reunited with us. I remember in I think I told you that it was in 1996. I was in Greece, and then with my two girlfriends. I wasn't really fully conscious at that time. We went to Acropolis, and I remember when we went to Acropolis, right coming in before Acropolis, I fainted. And of course, I thought it's hot, but the energy was so strong for me. And I just had memories. I get goosebumps. I had all these memories, and I couldn't explain anything to anyone. And so I feel that's another part that will be taken away, because it's so sacred. And I remember when we were in Crete last year. Was it last year or the year before?
2 years ago.
No, it was last year.
No, we did more for last year.
So the year, do you remember that one place we went, and Saint Germain's light was there, and that experience with Artemis, the goddess, coming in. It was right before 1010, and then that planetary work that we did with the 1010. So it's very, very powerful. So we'll see. We'll share with you.
It's been, ever since I was a child, it's been phenomenal just to feel what it would be like to explore some of the ancient areas of Greece, because the mythology is so profound.
Yeah.
The energy and the culture and just the history really provides so many codes, so many mysteries of what's moving through. And I find that even my morning prayers, when there's a certain area where I welcome and honor the Greek gods, well, to honor them and then to even go deeper and see where those connections are in past lives, and then allow that energy to then take us to the ultimate pillar into Egypt. I feel we're going to be really going to areas that we've been there before,
Yeah.
and to honor that and to really allow what is coming forward with the highest grace and love, because it's been a dream of mine and both Honey's to really witness a beautiful sacred time to capture one of the eighth wonders of the world, and for us to do it in a way that we can follow our hearts. We have our
we're not going to be any tours or anything like. We kind of don't do any tours.
And I find it there's a way that both Honey and I really appreciate is we allow our intuition and our guides to bring forth the opportunities that are meant for us, because no matter how much we can plan, it's always great to see who shows up and what energies come forward, because that's this mystical ride of the path that we so much cherish, in our ability just to feel from our heart of what is in our highest.
And that's love. The true guidance, because when we go, if you know you're guided to go serve Planetary, you can only do certain part. The rest is going to be shown to you. They'll never show you everything, as it's been my experience the last almost 8 years. Once you go, you say yes, you pick up the assignment and you go, then the rest is revealed to you, and you have to be willing. When things are shifting constantly, they will shift things around, and then they'll put you in a position where it will blow you, because sometimes it's like things, it's very much like the moving portals. It's changed, they're going to place you in another place, and then you'll discover why. So it should be very interesting and amazing, and we'll see what happens to that.
And I find that is with life.
And we'll be sharing, Michael, we'll be sharing quite a bit on here, on this. Not as much, we'll post pictures there, but here we'll do video, because live stream is going to be a bit challenging in certain places. So we'll make video and we'll post it here.
And as we speak about this, I feel there is a general flow as we flow and travel. As each of you flow through your lives, there's a general feeling of being able to bend, have this fluidity as energies come before us and around us. And I feel the excitement is when we give ourselves the opportunity to really witness it and feel it when we're out in life, and we let go of some of the day-to-day rhythms or routines that we usually do, and we literally allow ourselves to show what does the universe want to present for us today. How can we just go out and say, let's go out and see what the world's going to present, and then jump onto it in full heart, because the gift, what I love with Honey is there's such a dedication and devotion that we both have. And when we can take a pause out of our busy life that we have so much going on for very great magic. And there's so much magic out there. And there's so much energy out there that is available for us, not only to witness and experience, but to share, because part of it, we know that these experiences that move through us are for us to share and to allow these frequencies, so that each of you can be touched. Each of you can have those. Second Ra, I love what you said. What you just said, I feel a lot of inspiration toward being more precise with my energy flow and guided more in harmony. I feel, when we really tap in to the beauty and the magic within, there is that guidance of how can I create more of that? How can I create more of that balance? Honey and I feel like we've gotten to a stage which I'm really happy that we're now laughing at versus pointing and blaming, because sometimes I wake up and you see my eyes right now, I'd be so upset. Like, honey, I just want to sleep. But then I realize, sleep is overrated, because
he would get, let me just share. So like this sweet, precious being, he gets so upset if he didn't sleep. So I would be
hold on. it's not upset.
You would get so upset.
It's because
You would get
you've
gotten better.
I've gotten so upset.
So much
but there's
better.
a reason for
There's
it. It wouldn't be just sleep that I'm like sitting there not sleeping. This beautiful, angelic, little, beautiful woman that is probably not more than a couple of inches over 5 feet. When she goes to sleep, something transforms where she turns into this tossing tumbleweed that goes all the way around. Her legs go one direction, her arms go another way. Last night she kicked her foot right in my bum. It is such an element of just patience and allowance of what happens, because I'll wake up.
He still wants to blame it on me.
There's no blaming. It's witnessing that what's happening. What's happening is a whole galactic experience. And
there is so much activity in my sleep. It's
so
not
much,
even funny how insane
and before
it is.
I would take it personally because I'm like, gosh, I just want to get sleep. I've never been used to this ride. Now that I realize that if her feet are burning and she can't,
Wait a minute, let me find out about that. Is anybody experiencing, just out of curiosity, as an ascension symptom, bottom of their feet? It's been 10 days? 10 days, Michael? The bottom of my feet are burning hot. So hot, burning. It's crazy. But I just wonder if any of you feeling it? I'm feeling it's menopause. It's menopause stage I'm going through. But Michael is saying that from the Chinese perspective. I just want to know, is anybody else experiencing it? Very, very heated feet, bottom soles like on fire. Please let me know if you
is when we can be more sympathetic in our own humor, because I've now started to learn, instead of getting so serious over, even as I get these sharp pains in my head right now, instead of getting so serious and my eyes, not being fully open, and one is half red and half is one white. that my first day after resting a week by myself, I get to enjoy this wonderful being that so many just aspire in the honor of, that to laugh lightly, to enjoy these moments, and not to take it so seriously, because I've learned in not personalizing, not defending, not getting upset, and just allowing what comes forward. There will always be other opportunities to sleep.
I mean, I don't know what happened. If I accidentally punched him, when I was asleep, I don't know what happened.
You stuck your finger.
Maybe I don't know. I mean, I said I'm sorry, but I didn't know what happened.
It's okay. I think sometimes what happens is we need to implant like this ethereal bubble around you.
But I do every single night too.
Let's strengthen just a little and put this ethereal bubble around you, and really call on the gods and be like, okay, gods, the guides. And
I do every night. I
know. But sometimes it needs a little fortification because it becomes a bit. But the point being is the ability is when life's little things that come along that bump you in ways that you don't expect, to bring the fun, the joy, and the excitement, and really the levity that neither of us point to blame and get upset, because at the end of the day, we know we love each other dearly, and we have, thank you, Nancy, that we have this child, innocent energy that we want to play and have fun. The key of it is how we create that union of balance between all of the beautiful organizational work and service that we do day to day. So
it's amazing.
It's been a journey, and all we can do is just kind of keep laughing with this beautiful ride.
So much laughter.
It is in the fullness. And today is one of those days, because we know we have a week left, and we look forward to sharing a very beautiful weekend. I'm going to be at Rise this weekend.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Marcia, for always honoring the Divine Light Transformational Healings. And
that's Rise Wellbeing Center in Reston, Northern Virginia, in which also will be there. We end 2019, New Year's Eve there. We started this year, New Year's Day 2019, with a very powerful event, which was the Higher Vision Creation at Rise Wellbeing Center. And there was a group of us who had higher vision for Earth. We came into that creation, and also the blessing and ceremony. We created it, and we're going to end the new year. That's open to everybody at Rise Wellbeing Center. And Michael is seeing individuals there, help them. Really, I feel these next 3 months of the private healings that we have between Michael and I is to really help as many people in that divine alignment, divine alignment before we go into 2020.
Really align this fifth dimensional frequency.
Demetrius, hi,
Demetrius,
sweetheart.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Aligning this beautiful fifth dimensional frequency, and as we see, clearing the debris that are blocking us from our higher power, our higher light, our energies that are moving through us. So when we are in the energies that are amongst us, they are activating us. But as it's activating us, we also at times need layers within ourselves, if it's in our personal journey or within those that are being assisted around us, just to help cleanse. Because as our light is expanding, activating, this is when those debris, these stagnations, these obstructions are finding whatever way it can come out. And usually it is through its triggers. It's usually through the emotional body, physical body, mental body, ethereal body that wants to find a path. And what I'm so honored with in
if you can speak to that, actually, if you can speak to your client you had this week with the divine heart listening, it was a male client, and what he said to you, I felt that's so important to really recognize that. That would be amazing.
So as many people know that part of the divine light transformations that I'm offering, I'm so grateful to share the sacred divine heart listening. And it's a beautiful moment that I get to sit in front of a beautiful being that they share their deepest sorrows, pains, hurts, so they can fully be heard, they can be hearted, and they can really be embraced by a sacred divine masculine, which is so powerful, not only for women to feel the trust of a male, to feel the confidence and security, but just as equal for a man. And this past weekend, I was honored to work with a dear brother that never had the opportunity to express his fullness because men have been the ones that have created the pain.
He said that to you, right?
He said, I can't believe I'm sharing this because it is you, not me, but it is me in the representation of men that he's hated. He's never opened up to. And so just to take the opportunity to be in a position where a very sensitive man that's going through so much but doing very well in his expression allowed his emotions to fully come out and to see that and to know where that's going, because many of us in our masculinity that holds back, that masculine energy that's trying to be too protective, too tough, too bold, too strong, that vulnerability, that state of rawness, that opening within his heart was precious. Just to sit, witness, and feel. And that's why I feel so grateful, because this is an opening where many of us haven't really been taught how to express. Many of us haven't been taught how to convey some of the deepest pains in the heart.
And just have permission to express. I feel that's very important, because it is that time has come where we can just truly be hearted. And because all the solutions are within it, I always told Michael, I was like, Michael, I just need you to hear me. I don't need any advice from you. I don't want to hear any advice from you, because I don't need that. I have all of my answers within, but I need you to just hear the hurt that I've gone through, the pain, the heart-wrenching. You need to have big stomach to be able to hear this. And just by the ability, not projecting him, but for him to hear, that's what was able to wash away from my emotional body and free the pain. Like how much pain I was getting in my physical body. Like I just don't have those. And that's what we were experiencing. The pain get lifted when the emotional body is hearted, is heard. And I feel the role that you're playing as a sacred divine masculine that can, whether the person is in front of you or on Skype, and you're able to hear them unconditionally, and they can say things they've never been able to say. My God, what a liberation that is.
And how beautiful. Thank you, honey, because many times, and thank you, dear heart,
that's Nancy.
As you express it, because many times we have so much pain over our heart that when we want to find love, or we want to experience and express love, before that happens, all this pain from past relationships or hurt within ourselves have literally prevented us from opening our heart, because it sits on our chest.
Because you're touching the pains first. You can't even touch the love because you got to go through the pain. Once that has been addressed, then the experience of the love and the joy can come forward. But otherwise, it just can't.
And what's been so powerful about these sessions, and also just working in such deep realms of the heart, is we've talked about this. There's been so many people that have experienced love with pain, and
that's
pain
so
with
true.
love, and there's no difference of it being separate, because that's been their only experience. And it's very powerful.
You mean they associate love with pain,
and they associate pain with love, because they feel that the two have to go together. And for people to really honor and say, pain is a message. It is here to be clear, but it doesn't mean that love always has to be associated with pain, and vice versa.
Love doesn't need to hurt.
Love doesn't need to hurt. Yet, a lot of times when we go into our heart, the first thing we do is we feel the pain that we've never expressed. That's why I find for anyone that is here, or anyone that you may feel benefit, to have someone sit in front of you, which I feel so honored to be that individual and express every single thing that has hurt you, to the point that you may even surprise yourself of what has been hidden so long, where it may surprise yourself how much depth of emotions have been trapped there, and to feel and see the liberation of what happens when we fully express ourselves gives this opening and this feeling of like, wow, I can now let go, and I can be the fullness of my heart and not worry about all those pains, because they've been expressed, cleared, and transmuted just by you giving attention to it.
But this is important. So this is different than a therapy session. I just want to clear this, because I'm a trained clinical therapist. So that was my postmasters. All that was as a clinical therapist. This is very different. And also, like family members, friends, if they're coming from that place where they have their own sort of like agenda, or the way they see through their lens, that is not going to work, because you're not going to feel safe enough to experience. It has to be a neutral person, and somebody that actually doesn't even know you, where you feel the permission to express. That's very key. And somebody who has nothing to gain at all is not going to direct it, and is not going to give you advice. This is very important. And that's what I love about what you offer. It is such an incredible, sacred, if anything, it's a very sacred, divine, feminine energy that you hold in a masculine form, to just hear where within that presence it's expressed, because there's nothing other than having permission, because you can't give them advice. You can't judge. None of that. You're just there as a sounding board to hear. And I feel that's what's incredible, where the power is given back to the people. So just be cautious of that, because I learned so many times there's things I just can't even tell my girlfriends. Like, they can't hold that space for me. And my mother, no way, even my brother, because they haven't dealt with their own emotion, they'll just find it as triggers. So I'm going to a place that's so deep in my emotions, such depth hurt. So it has to be a person that has big enough stomach, big enough heart to be able to hear the heart wrenching.
And how amazing! Thank you.
Yeah, because I feel that's important.
It's so valuable that we sometimes diminish the capacity, but just to listen to someone, to be in a place to hear, gives that permission.
Yeah.
And it gives it permission to open up the heart. And as you said, Demetrius, it's not just the pain in the chest.
No.
The pain in the solar plexus, which, brother, I feel you.
Yeah.
One of my most sensitive places is in the belly. And it's interesting that the belly has a deep connection in the Eastern of the liver when there's great anger or there's great stress or worry of what happens within our solar plexus. One of our biggest power points, where our confidence, our courage, our will, our faith is all being built and constructed right in our
That's
belly.
right.
And sometimes when we're holding those emotions, or really what I feel, and I know what you're going through, Demetrius, is when we feel, and this is for a lot of empaths, is when we feel these emotions, we take on the energies from others, and guess where it's stored? Right in our belly.
And remember when we were going through this unaided, I was like, Michael, talk to me. Where are you experiencing here? We went through quite a bit of that, especially behind the videos, all of that, to be able to really distinguish which one is which. I feel is very important. You gotta contact Demetrius afterwards.
And it was interesting because within the belly, and you really see where the belly's at,
because you feel bloated. You get bloated.
You feel full, but it's so interestingly positioned right above our root chakra, our sacral chakra, but right below our heart chakra. So it's positioned in a way. So it gives
that indigestion.
Indigestion, and what I really see in what we notice everywhere: the worry, the stress, the pensiveness, and just the frustration of not being able to. That really bloats us and it fills us. And even when those that I see in practice where we're emotionally eating or we're doing things to protect sometimes our ability just to gain extra energies, weight, that becomes a point because we're protecting ourselves because we're actually using our belly for our protection. But that protection is coming from a false illusion because we're holding all these energies that we're feeling from other people.
Because meanwhile, the heart just wants to be open and feel all of this. So there's an interesting art in that place because the fire wants to transmute. The sacred fire, when we allow the divine will to take over, that it really takes over our solar plexus. And that sacred flame, the sacred fire is able to transform. So that's why, like, I feel just in our humanness, we cannot ourselves to surrender to our I am, then it can come and assist this part too, because the fire wants to transmit all these illusions. So the heart can be free to just be its magnificent, grand presence.
And lastly, what I always realize with the belly is, the chi flow through our body and the energy that moves through wants to come through us.
That's right.
It wants to root through our top crown chakra, and even to our higher 12 chakras in the source. When this energy,
and to ground into earth, ground into the center of Gaia.
So as it grounds into earth, it needs the proper flow. As it moves into areas where it's properly descending, it's interesting what happens to the belly, because if it doesn't digest and descend, then we got to ask ourselves, really, what are we not digesting in life? Where are we holding back ourselves and not able to fully accept it, surrender to it, allow it, so that full digestion. And I'll tell you, the biggest area that emotions hit is a lot within our belly, because we just can't fully embrace it because of the pains that sometimes we hold back, of just that lack of acceptance, really that resistance of it. And so that's how important we really honor this with a lot of our other beautiful chakras within. But I'm thankful, Demetrius, that you brought that up, because I find it's a very common
and that's
area.
Why we're sharing it.
And the solar plexus is our power point. This is a great deal with our power, and what's above and below equally reacts to it, from our safety to our love. So we're grateful for each of you to share that and to really be open and honest with yourselves, because the more you're vulnerable with yourself, and the more you can express, then that relationship between you and everyone else can share the beautiful abilities that we can help one another.
Yeah, and just to touch upon this as we wrap it up, as we spoke about this pillar of the golden light that is descending through us, that we already are it's making room to come in. So it is shining light on all these areas that has been withheld from the full expression of its divine illumination. So then the opportunity comes up to express it, because it will hold and it will create sort of like a bloating, because it needs to be expressed. The minute we express it, the water, what happens? The water is stagnant. It hasn't moved. It needs to move. So the fire gives rise. And this is why it's so important. And often the air has been retracted. So it's creating a misharmony or disharmony and all of that. So what's so important is especially one of the things that I found, like before the 8-8 Stargate, I was having just a lot of bloatedness around my stomach and all of that, and because there were things that I needed to express. So, with Michael, we went through several days of just brutally honesty express, and I was like, I will not compromise, I will not sacrifice, because when I do this, rather than compromise or sacrifice, I need to express fully. And can you hear me? Can you heart me fully? And I felt that was the big thing with Michael, and with Michael himself too. His stomach would get bloated, but part of it was him denying that deeper part of himself in him, which was creating a lot of that thing. And have you noticed? Because you keep saying, "My God, it looks like I've lost so much weight." My fans are because you're no longer denying you.
And it's
That's
it's
a
funny because
liberation.
in that surge where we feel the belly, there's so many factors from this doubt, this lack of trust, this feeling that we're not being fully supported. And when we let that go, it's interesting of where everything else lets go. Thank you, Nancy, for talking about your indigestion, because in Western medicine, we only see it from a scientific angle, but we forget to look from all angles that our emotions affect our belly, our emotions of the pain, the hurt, the fear, and especially the stress. A lot of people forget that we've taken stress as a normal daily function of our lives, but when we can
digesting stress every day,
when we're like, wait a minute, we've just become immune to it. No, we actually have to anoint ourselves with the love and appreciate, place our hands on our belly and give ourselves the feelings that we deserve, so that we're not constantly holding on to it, expressing it, and really, really uniting what is already within us. And that's our power, our divine love, our divine hearts. And so to allow our bellies to fully breathe into it and out, then we feel the full magnificence, because most of the time we're still breathing from our chest. When the fullness of our breath comes from our abdominal. So that's a whole big discussion upon it, but we're thankful for you guys to share that.
Thank you so much.
This really helps. We know that. Thank you, Demetrius, for drinking lots of water and knowing what intense energies are. When these moments do come through, the most important thing is to be soft to yourself, honor yourself, value yourself, be gentle, because in the next couple of days, there's going to be a lot moving through. So if you
and we're in the 72-hour window now at the equinox frequency has begun.
So if you can just really be compassionate to yourself, provide that compassion. And what I've always seen, the more you bless outwardly, the more you feel the blessings inwardly, without even having the effect, I'm going to bless more to receive more. Whatever you're doing outwardly, you're receiving inwardly, and vice versa. So in these days, to provide that compassion, provide that love, and really provide that peace for yourself is really going to help move through that. And so it works within a perfect message for today.
You have it? Okay,
because
let's go to that.
As each week or each other week, we'll give love to the butterfly because she's been working with it. Within each every week, I do read a beautiful daily message from the angels. So each of you, I'd like just to place your hands on your heart and take a nice deep breath in. 2 more deep breaths of breathing into your heart. And exhaling out. One last deep breath into your heart. And as you exhale out, feeling this message from the angels, and know that everything always works out. You've had past experiences where you've worried about the outcome. Yet, in the end, everything turned out fine. Your current situation will also resolve itself perfectly. So relax your body and mind, knowing there's nothing to fear. God has never let you down in the past and won't do so in the future. Although the universe can't violate your free will if you choose to travel down a rocky path, love always surrounds you and everyone else. This cushions every experience and helps you see the divine order within all things. Every episode of your life has helped you become stronger, wiser, more patient, and more evolved. Your current situation is also an opportunity to bring more light into your world. Everything will work out fine. In the meantime, inhale deeply. And on the exhale, give any worries to God. Repeating after me for the thought of the day. I trust that my current situation will resolve itself just as beautifully.
I trust that my current situation will resolve itself beautifully,
as my past experiences have.
as my past experiences have.
In truth,
In truth,
everything is already worked out right now.
everything has already worked out right now.
I give any worries or fears
I give any worries or fears
to God and the angels.
to God and the angels.
For only love is real.
Only love is real.
And
so it
is.
That was so wonderful. That was great for us. Huh? Yay. Okay, and following that, let us pick one of the ascension energies and let's see what of the ascension messengers would like to share with us. So keep breathing in that sacred space with the pillar of the divine light coming, extending from source side all the way through you, all the way to the heart of Gaia. And let's see what ascension message we have for the group of us today. Oh, I see. Pallas Athena! Yay! So, Pallas Athena is known as the goddess of truth and wisdom. She is lord of karma for the fourth ray and holds the sword of truth to show humanity the way. Although she wields her sword for the highest ideals and divine truth, she prefers to use wisdom to settle disputes. Your guidance is to follow her example. See the higher perspective in all areas of conflict. Draw on your abundance of wisdom and tact to communicate with everyone concerned, and use the sword of truth to point the divine way forward. Affirmation: I use the sword of truth to lead the way. I use the sword of truth to lead the way. I use the sword of truth to lead the way. I use the sword of truth to lead the way. So it is.
Thank you, everyone, for today. We know that is a little shorter episode to harness these beautiful energies and our sacred health and well-being, for that is the most important within each and every one of us, is to really honor this vessel, honor this beautiful health and well-being, and just our sacred, beautiful loves that are surrounded by us, and our compassion, peace, and respect. And today we honor that with a little lighter, easier one, because we're lacking some beautiful sleep and smiles and joy.
It's going to be amazing.
At
least it's sunny.
For joining us. Thank you all for taking this time. We know that
thank you so much.
Have so many things to do on this wonderful Friday. So for you to join us and to share your beautiful energies, your beautiful messages, thank you. And feel free to share this.
We'll update this video. We'll post it on our fan page. You're more than welcome to share it, whoever can benefit. And in 2 weeks, we will be in Greece. Yes, we'll our next Friday Tea Time Ascension Talk will be in Greece, where Demetrius is from. We hold you so dear, Demetrius, with us there, and also one of the goddesses back there, Demetrius, gifted that Pallas Athena to us. So she's really with us.
And we're
so
honored,
much.
Dear Heart, that you're joining us from Greece, that we just were introduced to from Todd Medina. Dear Heart, I don't want to mispronounce your name, but Irina.
Irina. Beautiful.
We're deeply honored in that, and we hope to cross our paths as we move through these beautiful sacred islands and just sharing our sacred light in the sacred nature of the honor
we'll be
of
sharing
all that.
that
And we feel blessed because we know that where we're heading to, so much magic awaits for us as we just thank each and every one of you for being here with us live today and sharing into your heart. We love you all.
We love you so dearly. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and we'll do our best to respond back to you. Have a magical Venus Friday. Have an amazing autumn equinox. Whatever you're doing.
Equinox or happy, depending if you're moving to fall,
spring equinox,
or spring.
We don't want to
be on our one side. We want it to be the fullness of what it is. So bless you and everyone. Thank you, Nancy. And
we'll see you from the Greek island.
Thank you, Demetrius, for Neva. He's becoming a man.
Oh, I know. That's right. So wait, just 1 second. I had total proud mama moment. My baby, 16-year-old Nevon, almost 6 foot. He got his driver license. Thank you, Demetrius. So we took him for a ride yesterday. It was so precious.
So much love. And thank you all. We look forward to seeing you very soon. Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay. Go. My
Like-ish. Banura-ish. House. Have a magical Venus Friday.
And my tongue tied and sleep deprivation is fully giving me this light.
Ciao.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Hey.